What is up, everyone? I'm Jeff Lund, and this is the Mediocre Alaskan Podcast, where we are intolerant of weak-minded attitudes that keep people from pursuing new and exciting things in the areas of fitness, outdoors, and general lifestyle. My guest today is Jack Carson. Did another on-location podcast, so there's going to be a little bit of interesting sound here, but I thought it would be a cool thing to be looking at Steelhead while I'm talking about Steelhead with a Steelhead guide. Jack Carson grew up in Ketchikan, graduated from Ketchikan High School in 2017. So we're going to talk about guiding Steelhead. We're going to talk about tactics. We're also going to talk about why he did not go to college and the machete that was the culprit. So that's all coming up in episode 39. Again, there are going to be a couple of sound issues, but that's from recording it on location. I kind of like that raw authenticity. So we're standing on a bridge watching Steelhead. There's going to be some cars. There's going to be some background noise, but I think it's good. Coming at you. Episode 39. Here we go. All right, start right off with here. What's the width of this river?
Jeez, I don't know.
Like 60 feet.
Yeah, give
Something
or take,
like that.
60, 80.
Okay. We got even water, pretty thin. Got right in front of us four steelhead. 3 are underneath a log, right next to a submerged log, closest to the shore.
There's 2 there.
Yeah. And you got 1 right in the bowl in the backside of that pocket there. So, do you go closer to the fish? You got to go over 2 logs. They're underneath a huge log, and then there's a big log that's submerged. So you go closer to them, or do you go upriver, opposite side of them, and try to swing something to them? What's the method?
I go upriver and get as far away from them as I can. I don't want to get anywhere near them because, as both of you know, they're skitty, and if they see you, they're gone. But you never know. But I mean, if I was to do this right now, I'd go upriver and throw something in front of their face, and just try to get them on a swing. Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the only way that you can manage that submerged log.
Unless maybe you get lucky and stalk them from there, and maybe you can get a bow and arrow toss in there. Hey man, that'd be a tough. So what is the second you hook up? If you're on that log, the second you hook up, if he goes underneath, you're in trouble. You're getting wet.
So it's a hook up, jump off the log. What do you do?
I don't know. That's a steelhead though.
It's a hook up and figure it up. So what about
a difficult hookup for sure? If
you swing to him, what's your play on fighting? Are you trying to?
Oh, you're good here.
Are you tensioning it and leading them down river and out of it? Do you let them do it? How aggressively do you try to get them out of a tight spot?
I'd swing. I'd point my rod all the way. I'd tilt it so their head's shaking my way, and I'd try to get their head pushing as far away as I can. Because of course you got so many snags here that you don't want to be, that you're not hooking up on these logs right here.
What do you run tippet wise?
13, 9 feet.
So you don't have to worry at all about being too light right off the bat. You could do that no matter what situation. If you need to turn the head right off the bat, you don't have to worry about snapping.
No, I run heavy with steelhead. I think it's the best way, because the worst thing, and I did it last weekend, was losing a fish from breaking line. And I don't like that. So I run heavy, I think. I like it, and I haven't seen anything. I know people that like to run light because maybe it's thinner and they don't see it as well, but I don't think I've ran into that problem a lot. So I normally run 10, 13.
It's kind of a funny thing. I'm sure you could hear the car going by. The listeners at home can hear the car going by there. Being able to stand up on a bridge looking at 4, at least steelhead, trucks are going by. You're 18 or 19? 19. You grew up here, graduated last year. People would say that growing up on an island in Alaska that you would have missed out on things. Do you feel like you missed out on anything by not growing up down south?
I think that's hard to say because I haven't spent a ton of time down south. But traveling-wise and going down there, I don't think there's a lot for me. I like small towns. I like it here. I find that a lot of things that I've done here I'm not going to be able to do anywhere else, and I'm just fine with that. I love being able to fish 5 minutes away. I love going on boat rides to fish someplace, even if you're not going to catch any fish, just to go out. And I don't know. I mean, down south is big, and you got all the different places to eat, and you got the movies, and you got malls, and I don't really like that. I like being able to get out rather than walk around and go mall to mall or place to place. I like getting out for sure. So I don't think I'm missing out on much.
When did you start steelhead fishing? Is that about the same time you started fishing, or did steelhead fishing come later?
I think, actually, very first time we're talking fly fishing? Or fishing?
Yeah, whenever it started. Do you start both at the same time? Or?
No, fishing, I did spin for a long time, but I started fly fishing at, I think, 14, and that was in October, and that was a steelhead trip. And that was the first time I fly fished, and the first time I fly fished for steelhead. And I think my first steelhead was 16. Yeah, my first steelhead I caught was 16. And, I mean, it was tough, but once you do it, I mean, it's awesome. Just one fish for a 3-day trip I'm fine with.
When did you start guiding?
Last season was my first season.
Oh, so you had a nice introduction to the season there. You had plans to go to college last year after graduation, but then you had a machete incident. Why don't you take us through
machete attacked me.
The machete attack.
No, I mean, there's not a lot. It was just one of those things where stuff happens. It sucks. But I was about halfway through season, and me and one of my guides, I like him, he's a good guy, Colin, me and him were going to check out a spot for salmon because we had clients coming in saying they wanted to catch salmon, and this was July 13th, so maybe we're thinking maybe they're in, maybe they're not. And we went there, fished for a while, kind of cleared some trees, bushwhacked and whatnot, and we're fishing, we're like, I don't know, we're not seeing any sign, we're not getting any takes, nothing, so we're like, I don't think there's salmon in here yet. And so literally we go through all this. We're walking through the water, slickery, everything. And I'm saying we're about 20 feet. No, we're about a minute, maybe half of a minute away from my truck. And I slipped on a log or a branch or something, and I just dropped the blade, and the blade just turned right up, and my palm just landed right on it. So it just kind of happened that the palm landed right on it and stopped my fall with the blade. So I'm lucky that the blade didn't go all the way through my hand, but still pretty much took all of it. But yeah, after that, just kind of, hey man, this isn't good. Got up to the truck, called my dad immediately. My dad came in, and then, yeah, this is the funny part though. My dad came in, and I got up there and I sat down. I was like a little woozy. Then I got in the truck, and Dad's like, hey, Colin, you should probably go take my Jack's truck. And Colin's like, all right. Takes one step right on his ass. He just faints. He just loses it. And my dad's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. I was like, really? So we get Colin in the truck, and Colin wakes up after about a couple minutes. He's like, oh, jeez, what happened? I fainted. He's like, you fainted, buddy. You're all right. He's like, I was like, nice, Colin. Sitting in there just... way to go. And we just kind of marched on to the ER and got in the ER and kind of went from there. Got medevac that day and
down to Seattle.
All is all. And then surgery that next day or something. And that was pretty much it. Did that. Yeah.
That put the college on hold. So how was it? You spent the winter here. You didn't plan on that, but
No.
How was being up here? Not in school, spending the winter with friends off at college, some still in school. How was that?
It's awesome. I got to bead fish in October. I bead fished with my left hand because I couldn't reel or do anything with my right. So I rested my rod on my forearm, and it was awesome. But I mean, still, college would have been nice and everything. But no, I got by. I mean, I fished as much as I could. Did as much as I could with my hand, just kind of went at it with physical therapy, worked what I could do. I mean, it was pretty rough. I had a lot of days where I was at home doing absolutely nothing, and that is not a fan of that at all. But I got by, and now, later on, I'm done with physical therapy. I'm done with all that. I think I have like one more appointment left, and I'm pretty much done. I mean, hand's not fully healed, but everything turned out. I'm happy with it.
You got a little bit of nerve damage still that's lingering.
Yeah.
When did they say, is it going to be 100%, or is it slowly working toward a max of 98, or what's the prognosis?
That's tough. The nerves are, I mean, I'm lucky that I have enough nerve damage that I have. Right now, I have full feeling, but I think the only nerve damage that I'm going to get is it gets cold really easily. So winter steelhead fishing is tough and will be tough, but besides that, I mean, if I come out with just that, then it's a win for me. So it's not going to be fully, but it's dang near, for sure.
So what's the plan for this summer? Are you back to guiding?
Yeah, I'm starting. I think my first one's May 10th or something. But yeah, I'll be doing that all season, and then I'll also be working at Southeast Air and Sea too. So I'll be working both those jobs, but mainly guiding and then working around, and then working at Southeast Air and Sea as much as I can.
When you first meet the clients and they look at you, do they give you a look at, oh, this is our guide, or this is a kid? Who is this guy? What? How do you deal with that?
I've ran into that. It's, I've ran into that, but I mean, some of my buddies are like that too. I mean, I got two of my friends are now doing saltwater charters right now, and they're my age, and I know they run into the same things, but you just kind of look at it, and it's like you got a 35, 40-year-old guy in your passenger seat, and I'm an 18-year-old guide, and he's like, let's see how this plays out. And then, but, I mean, I'm fine with it, and they're like, okay. And then once you get talking to them, they're like, okay, this kid kind of knows his stuff, and then if you start catching fish, then it makes it a lot better. But I haven't ran into anybody that's kind of been like, I don't want to fish with you. Like, I don't think you know anything. I haven't ran into anything like that, but...
How do you handle if they're not catching fish? Like, if you know that there's fish there and you could catch them, how do you handle if people are just...
You want to get into this story? No, I went... Yeah, it's tough, but I've been through...
You have to be diplomatic. You can't say, well, if I was fishing, I'd catch them. You have to be encouraging.
Of course
so how do you...
No, it's tough, but we went to one time... I had clients, and we flew into a lake, and it's like, all right, lake, full of trout, and I'm sitting there, and we are fishing, and you could see the fish rise out there, just kind of a ways out where you can't get to them, and we got 0 fish in 4 hours, and I was like, I had tossed on everything. I was like, all right, try this, and nothing, but it's like, what can you do? I guess it's fishing. It is fishing. I mean, people say it all the time, but it's fishing. That's what happens. But what also helps is living in a place like this. People love coming here, and they will sit here and fish here, and they'll be like, I don't care if I catch fish. I'm in a kick-ass place, and it's true. It really is true. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's true. It makes you look at your home through a different pair of eyes, I guess. But yeah, you deal with it, and it happens, and you know it's going to happen. But I mean, just the way it goes.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plans shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
What about the weather? Because you can be as optimistic as possible. It's blue skies today. We got cars going right behind us. We're looking at Steelhead. Day like this, easy to be really optimistic. But how do you deal with the days that fish aren't in? It's blowing. Can't do anything. How do you stay optimistic? How do you still stay like you or feel like you want to stay here?
Feel like I want to stay home for days like that, or just
some people they feel like the winters accumulate, and after 5, 6, 7, 8 winters, it's just the burden of all of them together, and they just want to get out. Whereas some people can endure the cold winters and it's dark, but it's fine knowing days like this are going to be there. How do you shelter yourself from that negativity that would make you want to complain about being here or get out?
I think the best part of it is just surrounding yourself with good people. I mean, when I go fishing and it's dead of winter and it's raining or it's cold and you have good company, it's like you're there and you're cold and you're raining and then you got a jet boil going and you got hot soup and next thing you know you warm up and you get an extra burst of life, and then it's just something you live with. You got to take it. You got to take it like that because it's Ketchikan, Alaska. It'll rain. And you're going to go through days a lot like that. But I don't mind it. I mean, sometimes you run through it and it's like, this sucks. Like, the snow needs to melt now, and we need to get to this point of time right now. But, I mean, sometimes, like, taking off a fishing perspective, you go throughout those days, and you're fishing, and it's pouring, and it's snowing, and maybe you hook up. And next thing you know, you're like, it's pretty rewarding when you hook up and it's snowing and it's cold. I mean, you've done it and it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
And those are kind of days that you like.
What's your day trip program usually look like? If you're heading out north or heading south, you don't have to name rivers, but if you're heading out there, are you getting up way early to get out there to be first one up there? How many miles are you hiking? Are you seeing or trying to hit as many holes as possible, as fast as possible, looking for an fish that's ready to hit, or do you stay at a spot for a while? What's your normal program?
It depends on the river.
And this is solo, without guide. Like if you're just going to go solo by yourself, or you and a buddy?
Me and my buddies, just by ourselves, going for, say, a steelhead trip or something. It really depends on a river. Like, river we wake up early because we got to go through. Wake up early, get in the boat, get to the dock, hike, and I think we hiked 12 miles to get to, altogether, I think. So 6 miles up to our first hole, 7 miles, and then hiked back down. And I think we kind of have it planned out where we like these holes, so we'll fish these holes. And I mean, if we see something else, then we'll go for it. But no, depending on that, we go early. We always like to go early, and I mean, I think it's like everybody else. You like to get in front of the people that are going out there too. So, yeah, normally we go early out of all circumstances.
How do you handle people if they're there? If they happen to beat you or they arrive a little after you, but they maybe go up to a spot that you would want to go to later on, how do you handle other people? You watch them at all? Do you go down there and wait for them to be done? Do you try to drop in and fish the bottom part of the same hole at the top, or you just leave them be?
I think you said it pretty good on your podcast that you did for steelhead fishing. It's like, if you have people in their holes, maybe, hey, go down there. How's it going? Fishing good? Yeah, good luck. Keep it up. We're going to fish up here. I don't think you try to get there and, hey, we're going to keep inching down your way and push you out of your hole. I think if they're there, then they're there. And it's just something that, I mean, we have a lot of small rivers here, so you're going to run into things like that. But, yeah, I don't try to push them out. I think that, hey, how's it going? How's the fishing? What have you been using? Has it been working? Have you been getting any hits? All right, have a good time. See you later. and then we'll go and fish another hole or something like that.
How often do you camp, either stay at a cabin or camps, to make sure that you're the first one on those spots? You do overnighters a lot?
I want to do more, but I think we get in maybe 1 or 2 a year. Maybe, I'd say 1 a year, maybe. We get 1 camping, staying at a cabin, and get up and go. But mainly, if we want to go fishing and whatnot, we do a lot of day trips. We'll do a lot of day trips, waking up and going for it. But I'd like to do more. I'd like to do more waking up. And I mean, I'd like to do more camping. Obviously, that's the best way to do. Because the best way is, thank God we can go back down and lay in the cabin instead of, okay, we got to pack everything up, get on the boat, and drive back.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do it more, but
every time that you are guiding, that's a day that you can't be fishing yourself. Is there a moment that you wish maybe you weren't guiding? Or is the thrill of guiding equal to fishing yourself? Some people love being able to put other people on fish, and it kind of equals in a different sort of way. Other people I could never be a guide because I'd want to fish myself.
Yes and no. I mean, I run into that where we'll go into days like bead fishing sometimes. For example, I was hurt, and one of my buddies came back and was like, dude, I wish you were fishing with us today. I think we got 54, and they called it after 2.5 hours. And I was like,
Coes, pinks, or total fish?
trout.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and...
Because you can have 54
another
pink
one just
days.
ran up under the log.
So is
That's 3.
Oh, we got this circling.
There's 4 right there, and there's one. So there's 5.
5.
Wow.
He's kind of...
And then another one just moved up. Huh, that's awesome. But yeah, I think it's tough, but sometimes it's awesome. People are like, we're in Alaska. What's going to happen here? And it's like, I just hooked a nice rainbow in Alaska. I'm happy. And it's like, doing that to people is awesome, I think. I think people just love it, and they're having a good time. Like, for example, this one guy, it was June 25th, and he hooks his steelhead. And he was like, I don't know about this. I don't know if I can do this. He's like, you can do it. You can do it. And he lands it, and he just has the big old grin on his face, and he's loving it. And I think that's awesome. I think that is awesome, and I think a lot of people like that too. But there are some days, don't get me wrong, that I wish I could say, cancel trip, I'm fishing.
Yeah. I had a buddy that came up from California, and he'd fished the Seatook, and it's a mainland river, so sometimes your genes are a little different for cohos, and so the average coho up there was a couple pounds bigger than down here. So we were catching, 8 to 10 pound cohos. They're a nice fish, and he's getting fish and saying, I can't believe how small they are. I thought, dude, you're catching a 10-pound salmon in Alaska, man. Yeah, I know maybe there's a river you've been to, and the average was 15, 16, but do you get people who are a little surprised how small some of the rainbows are because they've seen pictures of, like, Lake Iliamna where they got 30-inch rainbows? Mm-hmm. Are people a little disappointed in the fact that it's an island and the fish aren't quite as big as up there?
I think so. I've ran into people where they're like, yeah, I'd really like to fish. This was cool, but I'd really like to fish up north where they're, like, pulling in 25, 26, 27-pound trout. Or 27-inch trout, my bad. Not pound. But also at the same time, I mean, these are also, they are, but a big thing is the native run trout. And I think they have such a huge fight on them that people like it too. And it's awesome because some of these creeks we fish, you pull out some dinkers here and there, but you also run into, I think it's nice, then your next thing you know, you pull out a 15 or 16-inch trout, and it's, wow, this is awesome. Mm-hmm. It feels awesome. But I think people do run into that and say, I wish I was up there. But I don't know, it's hard to deal with, but you work with what you got. It's like, I'm sorry, but this is what we have, and this is how it is. And I think it's awesome, and you'll do how you do, and it's just makes it better when you do hook big fish, and you're like, we got big fish here too, so... Yeah.
If you come up here with an 8-weight and you're fishing for trout, that's different. You recommend people bring a 3-weight or a 4-weight? Because then you're hitting, a 14, 16-inch cutthroat or rainbow on a 4-weight. That's a good time.
That's fun. Oh, yeah. No, for guiding, we always fish 5 weights. But me personally, I'd recommend a 4. I'd say fish creeks like this, I'd say 4 or 5 weight for sure. 4 weights are awesome, and you're going to feel it awesome. And, I mean, yeah, I'd say 4 weights are the best way to go, I think.
What do you run as far as 9 foot, 9.6? Do you have different types for different water? What length of rod? What reel, sinking line, floating line? What
weight are we talking here?
For a 5 weight or a 4 weight for trout.
Oh, geez, for a 4 weight, I don't know. I think I got a whole combo rod, so they put all the stuff on there. So I don't know what kind of it is floating line, but for tippet though, I use 6.4 and it's 9 feet, and it's floating line, and then you got your backing. But I got a 4 weight Reddington that's I think it's 9 foot or 9.6 maybe. I think it's 9 foot, yeah.
I like the 9.6. Sometimes it's nice to be able to roll cast out of tight spots. Mm-hmm. But then other times, if it is a little close, sometimes those 6 inches can make a huge difference. Mm-hmm. So I got a more expensive 9.6, which I really like, but I also have a 9 foot. You can just really get into so many different specific water, and it's crazy. You can have so many different rods, different types of line. What about for your steelhead? 7 weight, 8 weight?
I fish an 8 weight Sage motive, and I got a 2280 series reel Sage, and I fish a Rio sinking line, and my tippet's 10 to 13 pounds, and my Sage motive is an 8 weight, and it's 9 foot, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, you named that right off.
Oh yeah,
you know exactly.
It's my baby now.
Yeah. Well, I think for the bigger fish, you need that extra control and handling. Mm-hmm. For the 5 weight with the trout, not so much. But yeah, when you're dealing with some of these steelhead, you want to have efficiency of casting too. If you're out there all day, that puts a lot of wear into the arm. If you're on day 2, you're pretty exhausted.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
What about flies? Are you big, huge, obnoxious, like a down south steelhead-looking fly? Do you use smaller stuff? Some people use even almost Prince Nymph-sized stuff with little tags behind the bead.
Yeah.
Where are you at, or do you have a little bit of everything?
I don't normally fish. I mean, I've never had or never tried to fish nymphs for steelhead or anything. I normally go big and bright. I like big and bright, and I think for some reason in my head, it's like, oh, geez, big and bright, it stands out. They got to see it. Or I just go black. But my favorite thing is big and bright. Bright pink, purple, pink, orange, green. I like that kind of stuff. I do like bright. I don't go small at all. I don't go like those nymphs you're saying. I've never tried it for steelhead at all. But it works for people. It does. I know people that catch steelhead on Prince nymphs. So
that's the biggest thing is confidence, especially with steelhead fishing, because if you don't believe in what you're fishing, it's going to be miserable. You could go 2 hours of casting, and if you don't believe in it, it's awful. You're gonna miss the hit that finally comes. You finally made that one right. Speaking of old and dark, some of these fish are a little dark that we're looking at. But there's a couple there. One of those looks really bright. I
think it's this one coming up right on the side here. Looks nice, but a couple. Yeah, you could see right when they come out in the light. Yeah. You could see a couple. They are little darkies.
They're a lot more active now that the shade. All that's in the shade right now.
Oh, they like that. Of course they do.
That guy right there is Matt's.
No, but I'm looking about 6 or I don't know. What are we seeing? 5, 6, maybe 7.
I think we're at 5 or 6, but who knows how many more are under there? One could be pushing
2 just
another
ripped
one
from
out.
under there. So I don't know. But they seem active and they're rolling around, having a good time. But yeah, I don't know. Some of them look dark.
Pretty active. Like that one is pretty dark.
No, they've been playing around, running around. So
that's the thing, man. It can be the oldest fish,
but they can
sometimes go airborne, sometimes they don't. But man,
it's a fun ride either way.
Is it worse to hook one if you're going to fish for 6 hours? Is it better to hook one and lose it, or to not hook one at all?
Hook one and lose it, no doubt. Because you're sitting there thinking, is there even fish in this hole? And you're like, There's got to be. And you hook one and lose it, then you're like, all right, there's fish in here, and I'm going to fish here for another 2 or 3 hours or something.
Did enough to... Enough right to hook up.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes those steelhead they will hit and go away, and they might come back. Sometimes they might come back, and it'll be worth it.
Better to, if you're going to catch one fish, again, 6 hours, better to catch one right off the bat so the pressure's off, or to catch one at the very end right before you leave. You're either pissed all day and you finally make it happen.
That's a tough one because, like our last steelhead trip, my buddy comes up Saturday morning, boom, 2 in like 20, 30 minutes maybe. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's how this happened. All day, we're going through the day, we're going through the motions, take some lunch, and I'm like, I'm done. You guys can have lunch, I'm hitting this hard. And I sit there and I'm hitting it, and my buddy's like, what are you doing? You working pretty hard trying to catch a fish? And literally a second later, I'm like, I got a fish. So, but it goes both ways. Sometimes I don't know, it's tough because you're sitting there and all day and you're like, no fish. Am I going to get one? But I mean, don't get me wrong. You get a first fish in a couple 15 minutes, and you're some weights off your shoulders for sure. But either way, if you hook into one, it's awesome.
If your buddy catches one and you don't, and he hooks a second one, are you happy that he hooked a second one before you've hooked one, or do you secretly kind of hope that it gets off so you can tie him?
If you know my buddy, then yes, I'm very happy for him because he's had a long journey of catching. He's had a long journey, and it's been 2 years, and he's been fighting and battling. The guy grinds at steelhead fishing all the time, and he goes in and hooks 2, and I'm pumped. But there's a little part of me that's like, damn, I guess it's my turn. I gotta go in. But I don't know, just to be there to see your friends hook up in the steelhead is awesome.
I think it depends on where you're at with your steelheading career, too. If you're really early on, like you want to catch as many fish as possible. After you've had some and you've experienced it and you've had a lot of fun with it, it's a lot easier to, not that you'd ever just sit down and watch, but if you've had a good day, it's more, I can walk away at this point. Mm-hmm. And I hope my buddies catch the fish, and I've caught enough fish to where I'm happy. I don't need to catch a fish all the time until we're done.
Yeah.
But that's the same thing with anything. If you're going hunting, it's the same deal.
Uh-huh. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's hard, but I don't know. It's different because I think steelhead are so different, and you're never going to run into the same steelhead. Every steelhead are going to be different fight. Are they going to tail walk? Are they going to jump 15 feet out in the air? Are they going to rip you a new one down to your backing? Or are they going to play you soft until they see your first touch and then rip you more? So I don't know, it's always going out. I always like seeing what other fish do. It's like, oh, you almost got him in? No, he's running back down river. Oh, you almost got him in? No, you're running back down river. Yeah. So I think if you're going steelhead fishing, you go steelhead fishing.
You tail the fish, you got a net?
We tail the fish most of the time. We always land it. But this last weekend, I brought a net, and it's pretty nice. It's nice having a net.
I would like to get one of those nice rubber nets, and just makes it easier sometimes and nicer on the fish. You get it in there, you can kind of take your breath. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and you can kind of leave them in the water too. Yeah, for sure.
For that.
The nets are nice. That is a nice bonus.
Well, anything else to add on? Any advice for people coming up here to fish?
I think if you're gonna fish. Just go for it, and if you don't catch anything, you don't catch anything. That's fishing. But when you hook up, it's a hell of a time. So just keep going at it. That's for sure. But that's all I got.
Cool. All right, man. Who do you guide for? You want to drop their information, their numbers, website, or anything like that?
Yeah, if you guys want to come up or wherever you're at, I'll take you fishing. I work for Family Air Tours, and I guide for the Hookup Guide Service. Same company, so you can look them up online, and they'll be there. Book a trip with us. It's a good time.
And then best place to get flies in Ketchikan?
Oh, in Ketchikan? Definitely the Green Bean. Green Bean's got it all. And I mean, I know the guy, so he's a good guy, and he's got a bunch of catalogs, and he'll ask me. So if you want to go to the Green Bean, go to the Green Bean to get some flies. He's got it.
Which is funny because that's a coffee shop.
Yeah.
The coffee shop.
You walk
Usually it's
in
like
there.
a fly shop that has a pot of coffee on. Here it's the best coffee in town, and it's got flies, right?
Yeah, you go in there, hey, I'll take a coffee. Oh, wait, I guess I'm going to come out with a rod, too.
Yeah.
But no, that's a good place to get flies.
They got some good cookies there, too. Those,
oh, geez, you can't beat
the
them.
cranberries and stuff. Those, yeah.
The chocolate, too.
Man.
You just take it in your coffee, and you're good to go.
Cool. All right, thanks, Jack.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
That will do it for episode 39. Make sure you go to themediocrealaskan.com to check out information on Alaska. If you have summer travel plans coming up here, check it out. There's a lot of stuff in there. Take care. We'll talk to you next time.